Okay, exercise 8.3 is about the FOIL rule, but also the shortcuts of the FOIL rule. So, I asked you to, if there is a shortcut, to do the shortcut as well as the long FOIL rule. Can somebody please tell me which kinds of binomials will have shortcuts? How do I know when there's a shortcut? Yes, Sibe?
When they're the same numbers with different signs.
Good, when the brackets are exactly the same with different signs. Okay, and also, what, Van Wyk? Bracket squared, very good. Bracket squared has also got a shortcut. Okay, so let's look at that. Number 2b was the first one that we had to do. And that was 3x plus 2 squared. Okay, so the FOIL rule, I'm going to do the FOIL rule on the left-hand side, and then I'm going to do the shortcut on the right-hand side. Okay, so what I do is I write it out twice, because squared means twice, multiplied with itself. Okay? So now I'm going to do the FOIL rule. What does FOIL stand for? First, outside, inside, last. How do I know I have to do the FOIL rule? For what kind of question do I do the FOIL rule? Binomial times binomial. 2 term times 2 term. Can you see in brackets? It's 2 terms times 2 terms. Then I do the FOIL rule. Okay, first, 3x times 3x is 9x squared. Outsides, 3x times 2 is plus 6x. Insides, 2x times 3 is plus 6x. And 2 times 2, the last, is 4. Then I need to add families, add the like terms. 9x squared doesn't have any like terms, so it stays like it is. 6x plus 6x is 12x plus 4. Now for the shortcut. The shortcut I will do on this side. The shortcut for a bracket squared, so let's write it again. 3x plus 2 squared. The shortcut is the first one squared, which is 9x squared. And then I leave a space. The last one squared is plus 4. And the middle term is the first times the second times 2. Everybody do that with me? The first times the second times 2. So it's going to be 3x times 2 is 6x times 2 is 12x. Right, that's the shortcut. Number 2D. We're going to do more of them. So don't be concerned if you don't know the shortcut. You are also welcome to stick with the FOIL rule. Okay, so 7x plus 4y times 7x plus 4y. The most common mistake that I see every year with grade 9s and 10s and 11s is that they do this. This squared counts for both. Okay, so it's 7 squared and 4y squared. No! I cannot do that because it's a binomial times a binomial. I'm going to get 3 terms as an answer. If I just take in this squared, then I'm going to get 2 terms. Then I miss the middle term. That's why if I write it out twice next to each other, then I can clearly see it's the FOIL rule. I cannot just times square the first and the last one. Right. So 7x times 7x is 49x squared. Outside, 7x times 4y is 28xy. Inside, 4y times 7x is plus 28xy. And last, 4y times 4y is 16y. 16y squared. Now I add like terms. Usually it's the middle two that are like terms. 49x squared plus 54xy plus 16y squared. Questions? Shortcut. The shortcut will look like this. First, it's the first one squared. So, 7x squared will give me 49x squared. Then the last one squared will give me 16y squared. The middle term is the first times the second times 2. Sorry guys, I made a mistake. It should be 28 plus 28 is 56xy, not 54. Alright, so correcting that. Now for the middle term, it's going to be the first times the second times 2. So it'll be 7x times 4y. So let's just make a side note here. 7x times 4y times 2. The first times the second times 2. That is 28xy times 2. And that'll give me 56xy. And that's the shortcut. Okay? Next, number 3a. X minus 2, x plus 2. Okay, this is one of those that has a shortcut because it's the same except for the signs. It's bracket minus, bracket plus, but it's the same. Okay, so let's first do the FOIL rule. First outside, inside last. X times x is x squared. X times positive 2 is positive 2x. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. And negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Okay, too fast. Alright, then I'm adding like terms. X squared plus 2x minus 2x adds up to 0. So I don't have to write that. I only write minus 4. Now for the shortcut. For the shortcut, I know that I can only multiply the first and the lasts. So it's going to be first times first, last times last. That is x squared minus 4. Quickly. This is a very nice one to use the shortcut with. If you still want to use you still want to use the FOIL rule for a bracket squared, that's fine. But I think this one, you should use this shortcut because it's really much shorter. Okay, so the only time that you are allowed to do that is when the brackets are the same except for the signs. Rest of the time you need to do FOIL rule. Number 3b, 2x plus 1 and 2x minus 1. FOIL rule, 2x times 2x is 4x squared, minus 2x plus 2x minus 1. Then I add families, and I get 4x squared minus 1. Let's look at the shortcut for that one. It will be first times first, last times last. Because I have the same bracket, but different signs. Everything is the same except for the signs. Then I have first times first, last times last. That will give me 4x squared minus 1. Number D, 3D. 7 minus y, 7 plus y. I can do the FOIL rule. 49 minus 7y plus 7y minus y squared. 49 minus y squared, because minus 7 plus 7 adds up to 0. I can leave them out. Now for the shortcut. I identify the shortcut by seeing the brackets are the same, but only the signs differ. Then I have first times first, last times last. 49 minus y squared. Shortcut. That is a shortcut one. Then number 4. Am I giving somebody a chance to write this down? Philip?
In none of these ones, the answer comes out to 3 terms.
Yes. These are the only ones that don't come out with 3. That's why there's a shortcut. Number 4a is 2a minus 3b times 4c minus 5d. So I'm going to do the FOIL rule. First, outsides, insides, lasts. 2a times 4c is 8ac. 2a times 5d is 10ad. Negative 3b times 4c is negative 12bc. And negative 3b times positive 5d is negative 15bd. There are no families. I have AC, AD, BC, and BD. No families. Nothing is like terms, so I leave it just like that. Now, all of a sudden, I got to 4 terms. Okay. When I have a half x minus 1 squared, I know that I can write that bracket out twice. A half x minus 1 times a half x minus 1. Because squared means multiplied with itself. Now I see a binomial times a binomial, so I need to do the FOIL rule. I can also do the shortcut here, but because there's a fraction, I'm not going to take any chances with a shortcut. I'm going to do it with the FOIL rule. Okay, so a half x times a half x first. If I don't know what a half times a half is, I take my calculator and I check. Half times half equals a quarter x squared. Then a half times negative 1, it's the outsides, is negative a half x. Insides, negative 1 times a half is negative a half x. And then the lasts, negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Then I look for like terms, families. And I see the middle two are family. Minus a half minus another half is negative 1x. So I have a quarter x squared minus 1x, or just x, you can leave the 1 out, plus 1. Who got that one right? Very good. Remember, if you don't know what a half times a half is, for instance, do it on your calculator. Number D. This one is a shortcut one. Why do I say that? The same but different signs. Okay, so the rule for that is first times first, last times last. 0,6p times 0,6p. If I don't know what 0,6 times 0,6 is, I do it on my calculator and I see it's 0,36p squared minus 1. Because positive 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. At number 5, this is the real stuff. This is what you really need to know how to do. You will get the normal ones like we just did, but you'll also get one like number 5, for instance. So this one, you can either do with a shortcut. I'm going to do it with a shortcut. If you didn't do the shortcut, then you will have one extra step for writing each of them twice, doing the FOIL rule, and then you will get to the answer. Okay, so I'm going to do the shortcut for each bracket. Because it's a bracket squared, I can do this shortcut with each of those. So I'm going to say the first one squared is x squared. The last one squared is plus 9. The middle term is the first times the second times 2. X times 3 is 3x times 2 is 6x. plus. Okay, so what did I do now? This bracket came out to be this. Okay, x plus 3 squared turned out to be this part. Okay, then the next part I'm going to do with another color so that you can see. Going to do this part now. The first one squared is 4x squared. Leave a space. The last one squared is plus 1. The middle term is the first times the second times 2. 2x times 1 is 2x, times 2 is 4x. Alright, now I see a lot of terms, but some of them are like terms. So I'm going to mark the like terms. X squared and x squared. Remember to mark with color pens so that it's easy for you to see which ones are family. X squared plus 4x squared is 5x squared. 6x plus 4x is plus 10x. And 9 plus 1 is plus 10. Who got that one right? Number 5C also has two brackets squared. This time there's a minus in between, so we have to be very careful of that minus. Let's see. First I'm going to square the first bracket. 2a squared is 4a squared. Then negative 3b squared is positive 9b squared. Then the middle term is the first times the second times 2. So it's going to be 6ab times 2 is negative 12ab. Then I have the minus. Then I have to keep the next answer in brackets because of the minus. The minus has an influence on every term in the second answer. Okay, so now I have 2a plus 3b squared. 2a squared is 4a squared plus 9b squared, and the middle term will be the first times the second times 2. So that will give me 12ab. Right, now I have 4a squared minus 12ab plus 9b squared. That stays the same. But this minus is actually like a minus 1 that I need to multiply in with everything inside of that bracket. So I'm going to say it's going to give me negative 4a squared, negative 12ab minus 9b squared. So that negative will have an influence on all the terms. Then I'm going to add all the like terms. I have a squared and a squared, and AB and AB, and also B squared and B squared. 4a squared minus 4a squared adds up to 0. So the pink ones I can leave out. Minus 12ab minus another 12ab is minus 24ab. And plus 9b squared minus 9b squared also adds up to nothing. So the answer is only 24ab. Then number 6. Number 6 says, a square has sides of length 2a minus b meters. Write out the formula for its area. Okay. So I have a square. Each side is 2a minus b. In a square, all the sides have the same length, so all of them will have a side length of 2a minus b. The area of a square has a formula, side times side. So it's going to be side squared. One side squared, which is 2a minus b squared. Okay, if I want to simplify that, I can leave it like that, 2a minus b squared. But I can also do the FOIL rule to simplify that. I can either do it by the shortcut, or I can write it twice. So I write it out twice, 2a minus b times 2a minus b. Then I do the FOIL rule, first outsides, insides, lasts. And I add the like terms or the families, and I get 4a squared minus 4ab plus b squared. That is exercise 8.3.